Well, I need to welcome you back, and we're still with the big story for today. We're talking about gender equality and the need to protect the rights of Nigerian women. Well, we're seeing the month of that celebration, and what better way to climax or to conclude this month rather than seeking that can truly protect them, for them to bring their very best and bring it on the table and see how they can better help to push the nation forward. But anyway, we're still having it, but I'd love us to do something now. Let's go get a message from our sponsors, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered on the big story for today.
Oh, yeah, follow Uno Road, auto better quality. If you dey talk gas matter, oh, yeah, follow Benetta. Gas with the better quality, Benetta gas. Gas where they full rich man to Benetta gas. Home delivery, brother, na sharply. Benetta gas. For Benetta gas, no mango. Benetta gas. Different type of gas cylinder. I mean, that kind gas wey go last you well, na Benetta gas. For gas matter, Benetta now dogu. Benetta gas. Gas service in a dem dey run. Na Benetta gas. Benetta make you carry go.
For gas matter and home delivery, make you wire Benetta gas plant for 080-6745-7890 and 080-5904-7722. Benetta gas plant, the Etekwele of gas matters.
It's colorful, so colorful, wow! It's Oza Furniture and Interior Merchant, a leading name for luxurious furniture at ultra-modern super showroom. Well-stocked is now located near you for the sales and installation of long-lasting exotic and quality interior and exterior furniture for your living space, such as foreign Turkey royal chairs and sofas, glass, wooden and marble royal dining tables and chairs, conference tables and chairs, executive office tables, reception tables, orthopedic office chairs, etc. Oza Furniture and Interior Merchant has in stock royal king-size and queen-size beds, wardrobes, mirror consoles, wall frames and artworks for decoration, wine bars, big TV shelves and TV stands, gym equipment like motorized gym bicycles, gaming chairs, treadmills, outdoor swing chairs, etc. All at affordable prices. We deliver with our vehicles. To make your home that cozy paradise, locate our super showroom along DSC Expressway opposite Platinum Banquet Place, beside Ugboloposo Junction, Efru, Delta State. Or call 0806-394-3198 or 0703-368-7179. Uzo Furniture and Interior Merchant for comfortable home interior furniture experience.
Well, we need to welcome you back, and like we said, we're still with the big story for today. We're talking about women's rights, and we're talking about gender equality, and how can we truly protect them, looking at how, or rather what quota they seem to add to this great country. And as much as we're talking about protecting, we're also looking at a section of women that seems to be neglected and more like sudden death for them. And we're talking about the issue of widowhood. What should be done, knowing that we have a growing number of widows in this country, the highest in sub-Saharan Africa, and well, definitely a sad one and a sad narrative in our mouth to taste. But anyway, we still have no other person but the founder of the IFA or IFO initiative, as much as also the chairperson in Delta State of the Do Foundation, and I'm talking of Barrister Faith Owonye Woma, right here with us, helping out with the discussion. But let's quickly come back to you. And you know, there's this thought in the head of many persons, especially men. When you bring the issue of gender equality, there's always, forgive me, a sour taste in the mouth of many men. And many feel it's just like a way for the women not just to measure up to the men, but seem to be even above the men in seeking for a right. And sometimes, because of that feeling, anytime you're talking about gender equality, there's always that brick wall being erected to kick against, hear, understand, and feel the need for gender equality. So, but help us out. What is really gender equality? And help educate and enlighten those that feel a bit comprehensive or agitated about the issue of gender equality.
Okay, when we talk about gender equality, it simply means whether you're male or female, whether you're handicapped or not, whether you're elderly or young, whatever restrictions you may have, it doesn't matter. Everyone is placed at an equal pedestal. And these persons are entitled to these rights enshrined in the 1999 Constitution or other laws which provide such rights. So, like right to dignity, you're saying a woman is not entitled to that. Right to a fair wage, are you saying she's not entitled to a fair wage? a male and a female counterpart in an organization, you say both of them are not entitled to the same wage, especially on the same level. Right to dignity of life, right to dignity of labor. Sorry, right to life free from violence, right to enjoy your wages, right to be entitled to personal liberty, right to have to be read to if you're arrested for anything, right to life. In fact, there are lots enshrined in the Constitution, and you say women should not enjoy such rights. I think where they start having, they're not too comfortable is when it has to do with sharing of properties. Okay. You know, and they feel women ordinarily, because they are the weaker vessel, and going by the spiritual beliefs that we have, women are supposed to be always on the low. They are supposed to be submissive. But I want them to understand, not to be seen. They're supposed to be heard, but not to be seen. But we should understand that we have grown beyond that level. In fact, most women over the years have done so much to improve our economics, development, and other aspects of our country. And so when you say a woman should not be allowed to make decisions, she should not be given equal opportunity like the male counterpart, it's funny. I am not telling women that they should go home and start disrespecting their husbands. Yeah. That is not what we're saying here. Every right that you as a citizen or a man is supposed to enjoy, she as a woman has a right to those things. That's what we're saying. And I don't see why as a man you feel intimidated by that. These are laws that are already provided for. But funnily, some of these laws are more of paperwork than being actually enjoyed by these women. And that is why women advocates will keep trying to educate women, make them understand that these rights are meant for them. Okay. They are there in the laws. It's not like we are coming out to say these things are not existing, so let's give us these rights. These are rights already made for women.
The way you say it and the way you sound, I'm being forced to ask.
Okay.
Have these laws really been able to protect these women?
Funnily,
or do you feel we need more of these laws? Because
yes,
you've been calling the different laws,
yes,
and I'm just sitting and looking and wondering, because I've seen cases, first-hand cases, where let's talk about widows. We want to center it there.
Yeah.
When she lost her husband and everything is being taken away from her, and yet you feel we have these laws.
And to even add to what you're saying, it's even painful that it comes from men that are educated. Men were expected to protect these women. If the illiterates out there who still believe in their cultural, traditional beliefs, feels women are not entitled to anything, then you that is even educated and you know these laws, you are the person coming out to fight a widow who at this time is still mourning, still in pain, still grieving. You are the person that is trying to make this man not enjoy the man's benefits or the man's property. It is very wrong. It is very, very wrong. These laws are actually there. I mentioned some of them. Some of them are more of paperwork, sorry to say. I won't lie to you about it. But the law courts are actually there to execute or to actually explain or interpret these laws. But
has the court, in your own years of experience,
yes,
have been court able to stick on the side of the law?
Yeah, very well. Because a situation when a woman is thrown out and she goes to court and cry that this is a man I spent all my life with, and there are evidence or proof that I am the legal wife of this man. Yeah. She is asked to go back to her matrimonial home. The judgment will be given in her favor. Then the issue of properties, whoever is contesting with the woman, you have to know your legal stand, your local standing. Are you supposed to come and challenge the inheritance of this widow? It's not everybody. You don't have the right to come and it's not everybody that is entitled to the late man's property.
Of course.
The law is there. She as a widow, whether she has a child or not, she's entitled to a portion of the man's estate. It is there. There's nothing you can do about it. And so if the family or a senior family, they're not willing to give her that opportunity, she has to seek redress in courts. She has to ask that her rights, she should be given such rights. And most men will not like it. They want to oppress her, but I'm happy. Most men, which have also become like men advocates, they are coming to see why women should be protected. It is a very bitter experience when a woman dies and she's still mourning, and before she knows it, she's thrown out of only way she has a roof over her head. You understand? Funnily, it's more predominant in the African society, and I think our cultural barbaric, I don't want to use our traditional cultural beliefs, but we have some barbaric beliefs which are still practiced in some of this.
My question is, why have we not been able to break away from that hold?
It is actually
Is it
not
our
too
laws that are supporting
easy
it?
because we live in a male domineering society. I think that's one reason. Then two, most women are yet to know of their rights. You know, she's just crying, she's out there, she feels
So she feels she's under the customary tradition way of doing things.
Like over the years, when a man dies, she's expected to sit on the ground for 28 days or so. She cannot go out. Her head is shaved. She's made to drink a lot of dirty things. She's told she cannot eat at a certain time.
Yeah.
Those are inhuman practices. For crying out loud, she's a human being. Make her go through all these barbaric traditions. It's like saying she is the one that killed the husband. Okay. She's told she has to tie a pala wrapper. She cannot wear anything colorful. Yeah. She has to be wearing that wrapper. She has to be sitting on the ground, on the floor. Who does that? And when the woman dies, what happens to the man? The man doesn't face any of this. So it's very, very unfortunate. These are barbaric practices which have to be done away with.
Do you feel more laws has to come?
I don't think there are more laws need to come because we have a lot of international and national laws which have been
protecting women's
rights. Yes, protecting. I think we should be more interested in how these laws
implemented.
Should be implemented. Yes, and even domesticated in some of the states. Okay. Yes.
Okay, well, anyways, in case you're watching and you want to be a part of it, the number has not changed for you to reach us with. It remains 091, and then we're talking about 38659453, and that's 09138659453. And with that number, you'll be live with us right here and having to ask any question that you feel concerns women's rights. And indeed, we're trying to see how we can push to get that right way of dealing with our women. And we took center stage on one section of women that have really been put to the corner and are facing a whole lot. And we're talking about widows. Like I stated earlier, out of the 236 million widows in the world, Nigeria is home to about 15 million widows and still counting. And you know that rate is a bit very high. But as high as it is, we're trying to see if we can walk around and see how we can better protect our women, see how we can better give them that needed support, looking at how it should be. Remember, we're seeing the month of celebrating women. We have International Women's Day being celebrated this year. And also mothers were always, or rather enjoyed a beautiful one just 2 weeks back when we needed to celebrate Mother's Day. But what better way to conclude a month of celebrating our women rather than talking about better protecting widows. And like I stated earlier, widowhood is more like sudden death to many women. Immediately they lost their husband, it is no more for them. The glories, the pride, the enjoyment seems to cease, and it's nothing but bitterness, a whole lot of feeling of regret, and a feeling of not appreciated, rejected it is. But anyway, we're not rejecting your calls, but taking it as it comes. And if we do have one, we'll definitely we'd love to have your reaction as it concerns the topic for today. We're talking about gender equality, protecting the rights of Nigerian women, and looking at a critical section, and we're talking about widows itself. But before we get those calls coming in, I really want us to go back. Now, in everything, there's always a change of direction. Before now, you agree with me that the rights of women were not truly protected as it is now. Our mothers, our grandmothers went through a more difficult time than we are. And we always hinge that on the fact that women are now getting more educated, getting more enlightened. And because of that, the government is now bringing up laws to better protect them on that level. But let's come to another section that many are also not too comfortable with. And we've just talked about the women. But let's look at the children that are from these homes. Yes, these homes. And the feeling of oh, my dad is no more, but my mom cannot stand her own.
Yeah.
And because of that, we see that bitterness sometimes in these children.
Yeah.
Now, how can women be made? A woman listening to us now, a woman that is going through this same problem, how can she shake off that shackles and come to the fold and get her right being protected of, rather than being trampled on? What should she do? She's listening now, she's going through a similar situation.
Yes,
what does she need to do?
Of course, you need to seek your legal advice of a lawyer, civil societies, women's civil societies who are there to protect women. You can also reach our foundation. For initiatives of the foundation, I don't know if I need to give off my line.
We'll definitely get them and put them on the screen.
Okay, fine. So you can always, there are a lot of them out there. Even if you don't have an easy access to a lawyer at that moment, you just go to a police station. They have the family units.
Okay, family units in the Nigerian police
station
force.
And explain that you've been thrown out of your house and you are the legal wife of the late man. They will advise you what to do.
So sometimes these people come with flimsy excuse. She has a hand, she's fingered in the killing of the man, or she flirted before now.
It's always the case.
She took money, she ran.
Is there no man that dies that the woman's hand is not always involved? It's been a very myopic lifestyle or reasoning. I'm sorry to say, it's not intended to insult the men folk. But you find out that when a man dies, even when he's killed by accident, they will still say it's the woman that killed the man. Anyway the man dies, he comes back to the woman. But when the woman dies, nobody refers to the man, nobody points accusing finger at the man. So it's very pathetic. I think we should grow out of that space. We should grow out of that mindset. Anybody can die. It could be any reason for the cause of death. And you should not start pointing it at the man. Is the man going to live forever for crying out loud? No. Or is the woman even going to live forever? So if the man dies, I don't know if you are going to start finding out. And if they are saying they are going to find out, which most people want to see, it's only to point cat at the woman. And you see when the woman does not have a good relationship with the extended family, it makes it even worse. We said it. This woman that he went to marry, she was going to kill her brother. She has succeeded in killing her brother. And the next thing, we need to punish her for killing her brother. First of all, she's thrown out of the house. She's stopped from getting of the man's property. Her accounts may even be blocked. Yeah. They do that. Yeah. It's very wicked and in fact, it's the highest height of wickedness. Because as you're punishing this woman, you're equally punishing your brother's children. You're not interested on how these children, they're going to fare. If for any reason you are thinking the woman may have a hand in the death of the man, what about the children? These children need to go to school, they need to feed, they need to do a lot of things. And because you have a beef, you think she's not the right woman for your brother, and the man now dies, you feel the best way to punish him to make sure you take everything from her. I think that's wickedness. And so our churches at this point should also be called to talk to them. There should be teachings. They should be told that it is wrong for a widow to be treated that way. If we are trying to get out of those barbaric orientation or beliefs or customs, and we're living in a civil society now where everybody is becoming enlightened. Even if you're not educated, you're enlightened. There are a lot of information out there for you to get, and we get this kind of practices or kind of wickedness from people who are even educated. I think it's very painful.
Oh, okay, on that point, I'll need you to just give out your numbers.
Okay.
Do Foundation.
Yes, you can always reach me on my WhatsApp line, 081-3470-4397, 081-3470-4397.
Okay, let's see if we get any calls coming. Do we have calls coming? Because we need to get reactions from our listeners, our viewers, to see how we can truly deal with the issues. And we're talking about the issue of not having that better protection for our women and better protecting them. Like I said, Nigeria is home to about 15 million of the 236 million widows in the country, in the world rather. Yeah. And we seem to have the highest number of widows in sub-Sahara and, funny enough, the whole of Africa, irrespective of the wars that is being caused across different parts of the continent. But Nigeria has the growing number of widows and will likely grow more and looking at the difficulties the men folks are facing. But should the women face more problem after the death of or the demise of the man, or should the better protection be made to stand to see how they can better protect the women? But to better protect our time, it looks as if we're out of time. And but before we go, we need to truly thank no other person but the founder of the IFO initiative and chairperson of DOE Foundation. We're talking about Barrister Faith Owonye Woma and Mrs. And she has come here to help us enlighten, or rather educate Nigerian women on the need, and the men most especially, on the need to better protect the rights of women, and specifically widows that are going through a whole lot. Just like we're going through pains, think of a woman going through double of that. And you
she lost the husband, she doesn't know how she's going to stand on her own.
The same difficulties that we are going through. It's a bitter experience. But anyway, it will be a nice one for us to say thank you so much, madam.
Thank you very much.
I might really call on you any other time for us to really do this.
You're welcome.
I'll be more than appreciative if you really oblige us. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks so much for giving me this opportunity.
Okay, well, for me, it's indeed a wrap-up on the show today, and the full week we've had a different discussion. Talked about the economy, talked about security, and what better way to end it? We're talking about the rights of our women. As I was saying, the month of celebrating women and also mothers, and I really want to say a better celebration to come, because we're seeing the period of celebration. Today is Good Friday, and next tomorrow will be Easter, and a lot of happiness still exists. And what better way for us to make you enjoy your holiday rather than being with us right here on Quest. But for me, on behalf of the crew, I'm talking about Oresi that is there, Victor, and definitely the Big Sam is there, Elvis is there, everyone that made it possible today. Well, come on, it has been a really lovely one. But let's see how we'll do this next week. God bless you. Have a good festivity, and that's the Easter celebration ahead. Bye for now.